Hello, everybody. My name is Kelsi Stubblefield. I'm a training programs coordinator at the Center for Agroforestry at the University of Missouri. You might be asking yourself, what is agroforestry? Put simply, agroforestry is the intentional incorporation of woody perennials onto farmland. Another way to say it is trees on farms on purpose. And there are a lot of different ways that incorporation of perennials can happen on farmland. So there are currently 5 recognized temperate agroforestry practices in the US. There's alley cropping, where annual crops are cultivated between rows of trees. There's forest farming, where high-value products like forest botanicals or mushrooms are cultivated in the understory of existing forest stands. There are riparian forest buffers, where strips of trees and shrubs and grasses are planted between agricultural lands and water bodies. There are windbreaks, where trees are established to block winds from crops or farm buildings. And there's silvopasture, where livestock graze beneath trees. All right, so what are the benefits of agroforestry systems? This is a really big question, and I'll give you our favorite answer in the agroforestry world. It depends. It depends on how the system is designed. What agroforestry system a land manager chooses to adopt and what species they choose to cultivate within the system, it fully depends on their existing natural and physical and financial resources. But most importantly, what are their goals and what are their objectives? Ultimately, what do they want to accomplish? Do they want farm financial diversity and financial resilience in the form of, say, a high value tree crop like a nut or a fruit with an additional annual crop grown in the alleyway? Do they want to attract wildlife to their land? Do they want to protect their farm buildings and their annual crops and their livestock from damaging winds, or make their farms more resilient to other forms of extreme weather? Do they want to protect waterways from agricultural runoff or mitigate erosion on their banks? You can design agroforestry systems to accomplish each of those goals and many, many more. All right, so the ultimate question is, if it's so great, why isn't everyone doing it? When we drive down the interstate, why are the farms that we see mosaicked throughout the rural landscape, why are they monocultures of corn and soybeans and not an array of these agroforestry practices? Well, there's a lot at play in the answer to that question. A big barrier for a lot of folks is the upfront costs of establishing trees. Trees can be expensive. And another barrier can be delayed returns on investment for folks. And sometimes fruit and nut trees, you can be waiting 5 to 7 years for a crop, if not longer. Timber species especially are a lifelong investment for many. And a lot of farmers intend not to harvest the timber for themselves, but to pass those trees down to their kids or grandkids to harvest from. Another big barrier for folks can be training and knowledge needs. Even if someone has been farming annuals their entire life, trees can feel alien or like a completely new thing to them. Also, it's not just the growers who sometimes feel like they're lacking the know-how for these systems, but a lot of times technical service providers are unfamiliar with agroforestry as well. And so when a producer comes to them and is interested in agroforestry, they feel ill-equipped to answer. Not to mention there are other barriers such as limited germplasm for certain cultivars, infrastructure bottlenecks such as processing, there are social stigmas and more. But I'll say there are a lot of active efforts by many organizations to reduce these barriers to entry. And there's been a really encouraging level of interest and excitement surrounding agroforestry in the past few years. So I would encourage you to attend my session with Rob Myers on July 16th at the Sustainable Agronomy Conference so we can talk more about agroforestry and regenerative agriculture and how they can support farmers, communities, and the land alike.